Hey YouTubers, just wanted to say some routines to before I get to the All Elite Wrestling review for AEW Rampage, a Halloween edition special. Rotains being the natural born thriller. Also rotains to from the month of October being the natural scary thriller. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to upload this review up on Halloween day, or at least on Halloween night, because I was occupied a lot more of me just up like the weekend of the After Hours album, where it contains of my job during the Halloween weekend. And it was the final days of me working out on Dino's Wind Wheel until the next season. Now, that's for another time. But the fact is that it tends to be natural scary thriller on October. Um, you will still feel the presence and the spirit of the natural scary thriller for the final time until next year when we get to on 2022. And same thing with tends to September, which tends to be the natural scream thriller, natural scream thriller. That'll be we'll be seeing that next year as well on September of 2022. But because we are in November, I am back to being the original natural born thriller. But you still see the natural scary thriller type of me for this month of November for the last time, because this is a part of a Halloween special for AEW Rampage. Since Diamond already had theirs, now it's time for AEW Rampage, especially since of that main event. So, that being said, let's get to it, because you're still gonna feel the presence of yours truly, natural scary thriller, beginning of this month of November for All Elite Wrestling review for AEW Rampage. So let's get to it. What's going on, YouTubers? For ladies and gentlemen, it's the natural scary thriller. And welcome everyone to All Elite Wrestling Review, the show from October 29th, 2021, with your AEW Rampage results. This was a Halloween edition, which tends to happen on AEW Dynamite as well, which tends to their Halloween edition from the main event. And this was going to be no different which tends to the main event when we get to that part of the Halloween edition main event, of which it was already promoted at that time, where it tends to Brook Baker versus Abaddon, where it comes to the trick or treat no DQ match. So, but they're in Boston. This is one of those tape shows for a Rampage. After Dynamite was went off the air and all that. You have your commentators in Ricky Starks, Taz, Excalibur, and Chris Jericho. A four-man booth, which I didn't find fond of it, especially where you got Chris Jericho on commentary. Chris Jericho, his Halloween costume, now it didn't show him until before we got to the second match. Again, I'm assuming it was when we got to the second match on the show. Other than that, I don't remember last time we seen Jericho on commentary on TV. Since the just showing the commentators. But I digress. Just gotta take this right here. Okay, so Chris Jericho, he had a wig on, and I don't know who he's trying to portray as when I saw this. And as I'm reading this, basically he was just like the lead singer of Skid Row, which the one that he was dressed up like was Sebastian Bach. I'm assuming that's how you say it, but I digress. But when I saw him with that wig, I was cracking up laughing. I was like, what the hell is Chris Jericho wearing? And I'm like, well, I guess Halloween and everything and all that, but he's got long hair already. But I guess he didn't have the color hair that just Sebastian Bach didn't have. So, but I was dying laughing when I saw that. Oh man, I mean, I laughed hard before it tends to pro wrestling, like the whole thing with Red Velvet botching the standing moonsault. I can't remember what other things that. Oh yeah, the Ghostbusters. The Elite. That got me cracking laughing too. I can't remember other things too, but other than that, yeah, this got me down laughing too. Oh yeah, since Chris Jericho, obviously, he's done. He got me down laughing before, but since to the whole thing last year, or in the pandemic, the whole thing with the drone, who was once called Vanguard One, but now it's called, um, you know, Neo. But when he was Vanguard One, the whole thing of release the hounds, and then these dogs of Jericho, big and small ones. It was funny though, because yeah, Jericho has a big dog, but he's not on like one of those type of hounds. But it was still funny though. But yeah, but that was basically what it was with Chris Jericho. I don't know. But anyways, I digress. But the opening match was the World Title Eliminator Tournament semifinals between Bryan Danielson versus Eddie Kingston. We had the American Dragon versus the Mad Dog, and this match was good. It was an all out of physicality, and Bryan Danielson's chest was light up like a Christmas tree, light up like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer's nose, light up like the Weeknd's Blinding Lights music video, for he's blinded by the lights. And after seeing that, the marks on Bryan Danielson's chest, that's another thing that the Weeknd was blinded by the lights too, where it tends to how red and light up Bryan Danielson's chest was because of Eddie Kingston's knife fist chops offense onto Bryan Danielson. But the match was good, as I expected it to be. It was obviously one of Eddie Kingston's best match on AEW. I mean, he's had other best matches too, like with Jon Moxley, Cody Rhodes, and there you go. And I guess you could also count with the tag team title match with the Young Bucks at one point with Moxley from that Double Nothing. But nevertheless, Eddie Kingston had his best match here, and he loses obviously. Now he was protected in this loss here when we see Bryan Danielson go for the triangle choke. Eddie Kingston tried to get out of it, and then to a point where Eddie Kingston couldn't get out of it, stick a middle finger to Bryan Danielson, and still trying to fight his way out to the point where he passed out. Referee calls for the bell, and your winner advancing to the finals as we all expected, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. And there you go, damn good match. After the match, basically they show during the commercial break though that Bryan Danielson extends his hand for a handshake to Eddie Kingston. And Kingston refuses, leaves, because he's too proud. And that's basically what the story was with that whole thing. Also, we go to Tony Schiavone interviewing CM Punk, as he's giving the interview CM Punk because he just celebrated his birthday, and Eddie Kingston is shouting, off camera obviously, but we hear him shouting because he's not happy that he lost. And then also basically you see CM Punk seeing what's all the commotion or is going on, and Tony Schiavone is also that way too. Also, Eddie Kingston comes out of nowhere, barging into the to the interview, thinking that CM Punk was smirking or smiling or happy that that Eddie Kingston lost. Eddie Kingston basically pushes the microphone down of Tony Schiavone and basically try to get in the face of Punk. Also, we get a couple of an backstage agent. Yeah, Ruby Soho coming in there. You have Sean Dean. I remember that's his name. The one who served for our country, who's now in AEW as a pro wrestler, and he is for almost a year now. I believe he's been all elite since for a whole year for a year now, or maybe it was somewhere this past year that he became all elite. But I digress. But they basically they try to keep things peace and all that, and then Punk was like was not impressed of Eddie Kingston acting like this, and he's like very professional and all that, right, and everything. And basically on the interview never got underway because Eddie Kingston was causing some commotion, a lot of commotions backstage. And that's basically a teaser here. That's probably gonna be Eddie Kingston's opponent in CM Punk for Full Gear. Since this is not gonna be Warlow, because let's face facts. Even if that was the lead card for Full Gear, that wouldn't make sense, because why would Warlow have anything to do with CM Punk when Warlow is in the middle of the program, along with MJF? Pertains to the whole thing with Darby Allin and Sting. So, but now we see in case if that was the match that was going to happen, because it got leaked. Maybe that's why Tony Khan decided to change it, and then this came up with an idea with Eddie Kingston versus CM Punk, which is going to eventually lead to a heel turn for Eddie Kingston over on CM Punk, and where it pertains to Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. Obviously, Jon Moxley has not faced Orange Cassidy yet to advance to the finals, but as cool as it is, he is going to advance, because that is when it pertains to the Full Gear card being leaked. That is going to be the spoiler reveal that it's going to be Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley at Full Gear in the finals of this World Title Eliminator Tournament. But that's also going to set for Moxley turning heel too. If Moxley can't get the job done against Bryan Danielson, that's going to lead to a tag team program with CM Punk and Bryan Danielson against Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley. So, and we can't all we gotta see is how the seeds are planting, where it pertains to building up that whole thing, which I'll be look forward to seeing that program. So then we get to not Bryan Danielson, I should say Matt Sydal versus Dante Martin with Lio Rush at ringside. I guess this is the third match since meeting between Matt Sydal and Dante Martin, which I believe that, because I do remember seeing one of the matches before. And one was on Dynamite, and the other one the other one was on Dark. I could be wrong, but I digress. Don't quote me on that though. But the match happened between the two, and it was good. A very good match. Now, this had to follow up this great match between Bryan Danielson and Eddie Kingston. It didn't do that, but it was still a good match, of what I've seen. And then in the end, it was Dante Martin getting the win over on Matt Sydal, and Lio Rush. He was just there to watch and all. He didn't get involved. Dante Martin won fair and square, and Lio Rush was happy that Dante Martin won. So, there you go. Now, before we get to the main event, they announced the TBS Women's Championship Tournament opening match was between the Bunny versus Red Velvet. It's gonna happen on I believe on Dynamite. No, I'm sorry, not Dynamite. On Rampage. The next Rampage show, along with Adam Cole versus John Silver. Is gonna be that match too, which I'm assuming that's gonna be the main event too, by the way. So, we'll see how that builds up for it. But for now, let's get to Mark Henry in this a three split screen, I should say, of Abaddon and Dr. Brook Baker DMD in the main event of this Trick or Treat no DQ match. So Mark Henry interviews Abaddon about her opponent against Brook Baker. If she has the opportunity to beat her, that she'll get a title shot against her in the future. And Abaddon didn't say anything other than spit out blood. So then Brook Baker starts cutting a promo onto Abaddon. But as she's cutting this promo on Abaddon, you also got Rebel and Jamie Hayter there as well. They're just like zombies. And basically, what pertains to Brook Baker cutting that interview, that promo to Abaddon, as soon as they pan away of Brook Baker's single shot of her being interviewed, when they show Mark Henry and Brook Baker's side of the split screen, Abaddon was not there. She basically left. She basically didn't pay attention to what she had to say to her. I guess it was supposed to be a comedy relief type of thing. So yeah, it's supposed to be a comedy relief type of angle there, where Brook Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Rebel were all concerned where she go, because they probably thinking to themselves that maybe she's coming after us or that Nora thing or something like that, but that didn't happen because they ended up being in the match, in the main event. And that being said, Mark Henry says it's time for the main event. As we get to the main event, Dr. Brook Baker DMD makes her entrance, and I can't remember. She had some type of spider face paint on her or whatever, or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but I don't remember who she tried to portray as, which is that whole thing, but it wasn't really much of it. But then we see Jimmy Hayter and Rebel coming out, acting like zombies. And I'm thinking to myself, are we watching AEW Rampage or are we watching The Walking Dead? But Jimmy Hayter was into this whole thing being a zombie. So then we get to Abaddon coming out to make her entrance. And her entrance was a Halloween themed, unique type of entrance, with her spitting out the blood and all that. And then we get to the match between Abaddon versus Brook Baker, where they had, tables involved. I think you may have a steel chair involved at one point. You even have that was being presented by Abaddon, thumbtacks involved as well. So we're taking to the table spot. You have Abaddon and Brook Baker on the apron, where Abaddon's going to take care of Brook Baker on basically on the apron, and the table that was set up by way during the commercial break by Rebel and Jimmy Hayter by order of DMD. DMD. If I'm gonna do it, I gotta do it right. So all of a sudden, we get to a spot where we do the table where Abaddon's gonna do something to her, but then Brook Baker reverses into a neck breaker off the apron to a table, except for one thing, it didn't break. So it also failed. Unfortunately, it landed on the table, but it didn't break, and it slid off, and then it went down. The table went down along with them. Not on top of them though, but but you get the picture. So Brook Baker tries it again. To try to suplex Abaddon on the table, because she was determined to put her to a table. You must go to this table, and that didn't work either. Like, wow. Now the first spot was whatever, but when the third spot happened, where it takes to the table spot, I'm like, yeah, that didn't end well either. So like, just forget about it. And they did. So they forget about the table, because it was not good give or anything. The only way it would give if Abaddon was put on the table and then Brook Baker goes on the top rope onto Abaddon on the height of it to actually make the table break. But I guess they didn't want to do that either. So yeah, the table was scrapped away from that whole thing. But Abaddon bringing in the double tax, like I said. She did slam Brook Baker on there with a Unagi slam, and they're taking care of each other in this type of match. Abaddon at one point was had a thumbtacks in her mouth by Brook Baker. And then like I said before, I think I mentioned before a chair involved. So what happened was that a chair was mused onto Abaddon by Brook Baker, which into the curb stomp. But then Abaddon no sells it because that's her gimmick. She's a zombie, so she doesn't feel any pain, But Abaddon, like I said before, retains to the thumbtacks in her mouth. That's when Brook Baker gets the best of her and gets a super kick with the thumbtacks in her mouth and all that, and then goes to go for lockjaw. And I think Abaddon may have bitten the mouth of the fingers. I should say that was by the fingers of she did. She bit in the fingers of Brook Baker because Brook Baker didn't really get a chance to lock in lockjaw. This had Rebel and Jimmy Hayter get involved, but they get taken out already. So this led to Brook Baker to stack the living dead girl in Abaddon. Sorry, folks. One moment. I'm sorry. Sorry about that, folks. I had to take care of my system. But basically, Brook Baker stacks her up for the win. Basically, gives her a roll up, or AKA a fruit roll up. So, and so there you go. So crushing the chances of Abaddon ever getting a title shot for the title has been squander with a fruit roll-up by Brook Baker, the champion. So yeah, and that was the main event. We're into this Halloween special match called the Trick or Treat No DQ match for this Halloween special edition for AEW Rampage. For that main event, with a total wrestling of 3 matches, and my overall strength for the show for this All Elite Wrestling review pertains to AEW Rampage Halloween edition from October 29th, 2021. I'm gonna go with an 8.5 out of 10. If I remember, if I mentioned that on the Asylum show, the Asylum's pertains to doing live action for that show. I either said an 8.5 out of 10, or maybe it was a 7.5 out of 10. Either way, if this wrong, if I have a choice, on my channel, I will give it an 8 out of 10, just for that. The main event was whatever. I mean, it's supposed to expect to be pertains to the main event, but pertains to how the rest of the show was. It was a damn good show, And there you go, folks. With that being said, thank you all for watching. For It's the Natural Scary. Thriller, saying peace on the streets for you to be well, stay safe, take care of yourself, everything that's going on in the world, wear your mask, get your hands sanitized, wear your gloves of any kind, get vaccinated, be better, be respectful, be appreciative, to love one another, God bless one another, live in peace, I should say, and harmony for us all. For I am out here. Ta-ta for now, folks. And there you go. Hope you enjoy, the rest of 2021 before it comes to an end in the next 2 months. But until then, take care, guys.